Good morning, dear students. In this lecture, we'll discuss Russell's philosophy in the light of his essay, Ideas That Have Helped Mankind. His full name was Bertrand Arthur William Russell, and he is a well known British philosopher and a proponent of the analytic movement in Anglo American philosophy. He was a Nobel laureate who received Nobel Prize in 1950. A writer, logician, mathematician, historian, social critic, and a political activist, he was multifaceted. His subject matters include social, political, and moral issues. He is preeminently known as a promoter of peace. He very impressively talked about philosophical ideas addressed to all the nations of the world. He did not restrict to a specific religion, and he raised voice for the welfare of humanity. Thus, his work has a universal appeal. Now, let's get to know something about his biography. Now, he was born on 18th May 1872 in Monmouthshire and into one of the most prominent aristocratic families in the United Kingdom. But unfortunately, at the age of 3, he was left an orphan. He was brought up by his grandmother. Instead of being sent to school, he was taught by governors and tutors, and he acquired perfect knowledge of French and German. He went to Trinity College, Cambridge, and after being a very high wrangler, he obtained first class with distinction in philosophy, and he was elected a fellow of his college. He married 3 times. In December 1894, he married Miss Alice Purcell Smith. Then in 1903 he wrote his first important book, The Principles of Mathematics. From time to time he abandoned philosophy for politics. In 1910 he was appointed lecturer at Trinity College. After the First World War broke out, he took an active part in the No Conscription Fellowship, and he was fined £100 as the author of a leaflet. Then his college also deprived him of his lectureship in 1916. He was offered a post at Howard University, but he was refused a passport. In 1918, he was sentenced to 6 months' imprisonment for a pacifistic article he had written in the Tribunal. The, then again came his next book, Introduction to Mathematical Philosophy. It was written in prison. His analysis of mind was the outcome of some lectures he gave in London, which were organized by a few friends who got up a subscription for the purpose. In September 1921, having been divorced by his first wife, he married Miss Dora Black. He was divorced by his second wife in 1935, and the following year he married Patricia Hallett. In 1938, he went to the United States and during the next years taught at many of the country's leading universities. Now, coming to the essay, Ideas That Have Helped Mankind. It is an expository essay in which Russell gives a detailed account of the ideas that have helped mankind in prehistoric times and historic times. This forms a part of Russell's unpopular essays. This also depicts his philosophy of peace and equality, and he has given a number of historical examples to support his arguments and philosophy. Well, he begins his essay by asking 6 questions about what is the greatest advantage mankind has received. Now, the 6 questions are as before you. Are mankind helped when they become more numerous? Or when they become less like animals? Or when they become happier? Or when they learn to enjoy a greater diversity of experiences? Or when they come to know more? Or when they become more friendly to one another? So I've quoted the answers as given by Russell in the preceding paragraphs. So to many of the questions, the answer is yes, but the question which is answered in negative is or when they become happier. Now we take the questions one by one. So he says the very first idea in prehistoric time which helped man is the increase in number, increase in population. So when man he had not identified the benefits of his intelligence, he was basically a weak creature as compared to other animals, and he was also afraid of the forces of nature. Thus, increase in numbers benefited him a lot in terms of safety. So the answer to the first question is yes. Moving to the next question, he says that early humans lived like beasts. With the passage of time, their way of living changed and they became less like animals. So, two factors that bring about this change are the skills and the forethought. So, he says yes, the man became more advanced and progressive because he became less like animal. Moving on to the third one, he says the capability of foresight has helped man as well as it is the source of fears and anxieties. The man is always in fear of upcoming disasters, and this fear of the future make them less happy. Of course, the more we are progressing, the more stress pervades our lives. So this question has uh, been answered in the negative. Moving on to the next, the diversity of experiences is a consequence of the superior brain power and intellect. Men are exposed to wide experiences because of their differences from other species. Yes, so they have a greater diversity of experiences and it has come to their benefit. Then, the increase in knowledge with the passage of time, it has helped man to progress. It is on the basis of amount of knowledge that humans are superior to other species. So definitely yes, the man has gained advantage by this point by the increase in knowledge. Furthermore, he points out toward how the development of civilization has helped mankind toward evolution. To him, the civilization told the human to be more kind towards other fellow beings as compared to animals. A sense of love, care, and help aroused in the man with the development of civilization, and this has benefited him in terms of progress. Though also we have instances when he becomes revengeful and he becomes as ferocious as animals in this light. Apart from these mentioned elements, Russell he points out the ideas which has helped mankind during the prehistoric times and the historic times. So he divides his essay further into two categories, which we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.